Yo, yo, what is up, good people? The boys from the Fights and Geek Zone. We're back again with another dope episode for y'all. As per usual, I'm Izzy.
I'm Real.
And we're going to be continuing with our MCU recap series. This time around, we're going to be touching on Spider-Man No Way Home.
Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3, yeah. Tom Holland's, third solo act. I'm not even going to question. I feel like we're both, in agreement as far as good movie, I enjoyed it first time around. I'm guessing that hasn't changed this time around, Here's where I want to start off with this movie, hey? I feel like it's been, a couple of years since I last saw it, same old story. Naturally, there are a few things you'd forget, but you also remember a lot of the main points. What I surprisingly forgot is how dark this movie actually is.
Yeah.
I mean, on all fronts, for a Spider-Man movie, certainly. But
for a Disney movie.
A Disney movie, and even in, the overall MCU space. So I just want you to give me, like, your take on that aspect.
Yeah, I mean, I think it added to his character. He's becoming a man now. It's not Spider-Boy anymore. He's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And I think they touched on it quite a lot in the movie. It's like, you have to live a life, not two lives. So that coming across and having been faced with that choice, I think, and how they portrayed it was really cool.
I liked it a lot, particularly because, look, it's the third entry. It's very, and not, it's a third solo movie, but we've seen him a couple of times in other movies as well. So it's very easy to then fall into just some, banal routine, like, do the same old thing again and again. And the shift in not only the emotional tone, but even the colors. The colors. I remember there being quite a lot of darker tones throughout the movie. And I was
a lot of night scenes.
I guess, the color grading basically spoke to that. Even during some of the daytime scenes, it wouldn't necessarily be like all bright and sparkly like it usually is. The music, of course, also comes into the mix. They started off, something all whimsy and nice and whatever, and then next thing you get songs, from the other end. And I was like, oh, okay. You guys are like really leaning into that darker tone. And I loved it just as a backdrop. But of course, when you lean into the specifics of how they then carry that out, I also, enjoy that particular direction as well. We've got, of course, just to set the story quickly. The Spider-Man, right, going to Doctor Strange because he's like, hey man, people know who I am.
Wait, before we even get there, I liked how they continued this movie from the last movie.
Like the exact scene.
Like it's a continuation.
So
to appreciate that, and if you haven't watched the movie, it's his identity getting exposed. Most famous man in the world. But no money. And then obviously Peter Parker wanting people to forget that he is Spider-Man goes to Doctor Strange.
And I think to also tie it in even further than that, it's the fact that he not only got exposed as far as his secret identity, but which is something I feel like we didn't touch on, in the Far From Home review. I only picked it up when watching this, but it still has a place here. Mysterio was the villain, but the world doesn't know that. It's literally only, Spider-Man, Nick Fury, and it's a fairly self-contained thing. So exposing his identity is one element, but now people are like, you killed the other hero. So there's also a mob element, mob mentality as far as how people are now perceiving and even approaching.
And you see that
Spider-Man.
when he's going into school, like when he's coming back from vacation.
Man,
I'm like, imagine
people camped out at his school.
You're 17 and they're picketing against you. You can't even vote.
They
you can't even drink
at the apartment window. So people are literally out for blood. So I think very, very good point as far as just setting the proper backdrop to how we then get to the point where he's like, hey man,
the pressure,
people now knowing my identity. And that's the thing about the purity of this Spider-Man and the size of his heart. Let me put it that way. He went there not for himself, but more for those around him. He's like, hey man, my friends now their lives are being messed up. My aunt is being harassed at home and all of these things. So he's like, for their sake, let's just, please, can you cast a spell, have everyone forget that I'm Spider-Man? And before we go on, what do you think about the fact that Doctor Strange entertained this as the Sorcerer Supreme is the title? There's another one, man. It's a Grand Wizard type.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like he's like the new mentor now.
But besides that, I also love because Grand Wizard is from a whole other. But let's that's fine. That's fine.
It's missing me now.
But I just mean in terms of because again, the Sorcerer Supreme is the title, right, hierarchy-wise. But I just mean as far as how powerful he actually is and his knowledge and all of that. Like, it stood out for me this time, and I'm like, why is he entertaining this? Not that Peter necessarily doesn't have a foot to stand on, but Doctor Strange actually giving him, the time of day. What's your take on that?
Well, doesn't it fit into Doctor Strange's character? The grandiose surgeon, the grandiose, I'm always wanting to fix the impossible.
Okay, cool. And I suppose even the arrogance around that as well. Yeah, because again, just as Wong was telling him, shout out to Wong, of course,
Wong is my hero.
Doing his
He's
thing.
my hero. But he's my Sorcerer Supreme, I forget.
It just stood out to me as far as, hey man, this is a very tricky, not that it can't be done, but just the risks that are involved, number one. And number two, there's always that underlying factor that, hey man, your powers, aren't meant to be used willy-nilly, that sort of thing. So I was like, I wonder what your particular take is as far as him actually agreeing to even do it.
But it's also, I think he's coming from, he's also empathizing with Peter Parker, like, he's just a kid, right?
He did say that,
and his line is like, sometimes I forget you're just a kid.
Yeah,
like,
we've saved the world together and all of that, but at the end of the day,
multiple times.
So I guess if anything requires an exception, it is that. So okay, I got you. And so he's like, yeah, man, can we cast a spell to have everyone forget that I'm Spider-Man so that things can return to normal? And back to what we were just saying, he is a kid at the end of the day.
It didn't even,
So Doctor Strange is like, cast the spell. And the next he's like, ooh, can we please exclude this person, exclude that one, exclude this person? And he kept saying, hey, man, this is a very sensitive thing. You can't keep interrupting me because, things might end up getting screwed up. Lo and behold, what happens?
Multiverse cracking.
Yeah, so now you got people from other universes coming through.
But even to feed in as to how naive or inexperienced Peter is with life, after that spell, Sorcerer Supreme or Stephen Strange was like, did you ask admissions to reconsider?
Yeah,
and he was like, you know what I mean? Like,
his first thing was, hey, dog, I'm going to go call...
Life-changing spell.
I'm going to go call my wizard friend to reverse this thing. I'm not going to try and talk to, the school, not even try to maybe just, talk to your aunt. She probably would have given the advice, so, hey, let's try them and see what we can do to actually resolve this. He's like, what do you mean you didn't even, She's like, wait, I could just call and ask them. Like, I thought the letter meant, that's that. So I love how no matter what, they don't miss an opportunity to remind you that this is a kid.
Yeah.
Because at no point are you meant to forget that he's only 17 years old, dog. Like, that's pretty insane. And of course led to that funny interaction. And another thing I appreciate is the fact that this easily gave us the best instance of multiverse interaction.
Yes. Yeah.
Because any other iteration, you're gonna have the same actor from other worlds and then acting a little differently.
Well, here it's the same character. But different.
It's different actors, and not just for the sake of it. It's from pre-existing movies.
Which, kudos to Sony. Thank you for making this happen.
Dude, like they took it all the way back to like 01, dog. We're talking like 20 years prior, So I think that's like the greatest multiverse move ever pulled. And I don't know who else has the juice to do such a thing. But also, even if someone does, including Marvel, it's gonna be
you're gonna be measured against.
Yes, it's off of the back of No Way Home, So I think then just take us through the people that came through from the other universes.
So let's see. You've got the two Spider-Mans there, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Great story arcs for both of them. Then you've got I saw a video. They call them the Sinister Six.
Are they the Sinister Six?
Well, an iteration of, but
exactly.
not the official one.
Yeah.
So the MCU Sinister Six maybe, but you fact check me. I don't really.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got Doc Ock, Green Goblin, Sandman.
Yeah.
Uh,
The lizard and Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, and then Electro.
Yeah.
And then you have Venom right at the end with his cameo as well.
Yeah, so glad it's a movie, but so glad that's where it started and ended
because my thing is just like, how does Venom know Peter Parker? Because the spellers,
for those
people
that
who know
him,
Peter.
But besides that, given that iteration of Venom, I've never wanted the two to ever share a screen. So
after,
I'm happy that it was
that
like a one and done type of
so
deal.
those are those are what.
Those are the people that came through from the other universes, and particularly with the villains. Like how did it feel seeing them this time around? What did you think of this version of them?
Yeah, I really liked how can I say, they did them justice. So most of the villains had like a redemption arc within this movie.
Okay.
So like Doc Ock is obviously the one that's kind of highlighted first and foremost there. He got fixed. And then, I guess obviously him, and then who else? Maybe like all of them had little instances towards the end. Maybe the lizard, Kurt Connor's not so much, but they kind of, like Jamie Foxx when he's like shooting the breeze with Andrew Garfield. Like, you're from this, you're from Queens, Brooklyn. I thought you'd be black.
Yeah.
I was like, so you know what I mean? Like, it's like, they got their comeuppance, if you not comeuppance, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Redemption.
Yeah. That's the
where their characters may have been weaker in their original movies, they didn't feel as weak here. Like Jamie Foxx, I think specifically, didn't feel like not power scale weak, but character, like character-wise, he felt fleshed out. And then, I mean, I would have liked more Green Goblin, but that's just because I want a psychotic Green Goblin. But I think for what it was, it played perfectly into the story.
I also enjoyed seeing them again. It's always interesting when you think about how they came about choosing whoever it is, man. If it's just a matter of like choosing the villain for a particular movie, choosing a storyline and so on. And in this instance, for me, it's a matter of, okay, you got people from other universities you want to bring in, but the question is then who are you going to choose to bring in?
And they brought everyone, basically.
Not a bad choice overall. I think especially if you think of Green Goblin and Dr. Octopus. I mean,
they're iconic in the original Spider-Man.
Like just in the general lore, in again the original Spider-Man trilogy and that sort of thing. It was great seeing them back, and I love
even Sandman too.
Yeah,
what it was.
From the third one. But I think similar to Dr. Connors, it was a matter of the actors were not available, so that's why you see them a lot more in CGI form than in the natural form. With Dr. Connors, when he went back, I can't remember where that shot came from.
Right at the end of the movie.
Yeah. But I mean, like, where was he actually there for it or what? Because with Sandman, they used the footage from Spider-Man 3. They basically reversed, because he almost fell in that pit, right? And then the thing spun and then became sand. So as he's seeing himself disintegrate, they reversed that shot to when he's now being human. Because, he wasn't there to be able to actually shoot it, which is why they became kind of, secondary. But I like that because, as with any ensemble movie we've spoken about, you can't put the spotlight on everyone, an equal amount. So we've
seen
a bigger spotlight.
It doesn't work.
Exactly. We've seen that on the right characters. So I think it's one of those ways, at the end of the day, they made it work. I liked that, especially if you talk about Green Goblin and Dr. Octopus, you are not only iconic and all of that, but it's like we loved the prior iterations.
Yes.
So this didn't become some watered down, some nerfing.
I
because
think there was just enough to satiate us.
Exactly. Perfectly put. Yeah. Because a lot of times, like, we will hanker for someone, which is why I anytime people are like, they're not going to make a sequel, and even if I say I want one, I would rather you disappoint me by not giving me a sequel than to give me a bad sequel.
Yeah.
So, because once that happens, it's like, you ruined this character, all of that other weird stuff, and I mean, how many times have we encountered that? So I think I enjoy the fact that you brought them back, but you still treated them so well. especially when you think of how they came into the mix. It started off with them being the original versions.
Yeah.
So it's not on some, oh, they've aged. It's in their world, they literally snapped, from wherever they were with Spider-Man and then into this moment. And it's like, okay.
They're still alive.
Yeah, keep that exact same character that you had. I mean, Doc Ock came in immediately. He's trying to kill Spider-Man, as he tried to before. Goblin also, crazy, causing havoc where he goes, and also that whole position with
schizophrenic personality.
Exactly. It's not on some. Oh, now he's healed. Now he's he was being all deceptive. They are who they were, and from that point, you can then get to the redemption element of it. So I think the way it played out was pretty sick.
And then obviously, how could we forget cameos? Matt Murdock, Daredevil.
Daredevil, there in the beginning. It was so funny, hey, seeing the different moments where in the cinema we cheered.
Yeah.
Watching them now. So there's this thing where there's two primary examples they do it with. One is like sitcoms with laugh tracks. They'll play them now without the laugh track. And then people use it to trash a sitcom. And I don't think that inherently speaks to whether it's funny or not. But as an aside, then they try to show, what the difference is. Then on the other end, they will show, especially Marvel movies, because Marvel will intentionally have moments that they know is going to be a crowd pleaser. And they'll have a pause. So people then try to create this narrative that now when you watch it without being at the cinema, if you're on your own, without the pause, it feels weird. I was like, no, all of that actually had perfect timing.
Yeah.
Because with sitcoms, especially if you shoot it in front of a live audience, people will say it and then they'll wait for the crowd to quiet down, and then you continue. So without the laugh track, it doesn't sound natural. Fine. That wasn't the case with the MCU, and one of the moments being when Daredevil appeared. I remember as soon as we saw his face, we were like, but the flow was pretty dope. So I actually want to commend them on that. But shout out to Matt Murdock as well. That was also his debut in the movie space, So
Charlie Cox.
Yeah, no. The Daredevil character, because remember he was TV series and all that.
Ben Affleck.
No, man, this iteration.
Oh, this one. Okay, the MCU one.
Yes, the MCU Daredevil was the first time we get to see him in these movies.
Glad we don't see the other one.
Yeah, no. That was way before our time. I just remember it vaguely playing on TV and whatever. And then by the time I was, old enough to be like, oh, let me check it out. People, no, it's bad. I was like, let me just keep moving. But anyway, shout out to Matt Murdock. Nice little just in and out.
In and out. Also just showcased his power scale as well, because Peter Parker has the spider sense. Yeah. And he caught the brick before.
Not to mention, right, catching the light, and then he's like, wait, how did you catch? He's like, because he said, I'm a good lawyer, and then the brick was thrown. He catches it, and Spider-Man is like, how did you catch it? He's like, I'm a really good lawyer. I'm like, it doesn't make sense, but you know what?
Do your thing.
Yeah, it's almost like no one knows what it means, but it's provocative. It gets the people going. So it definitely still did get me going. I think we've mentioned at least some, if not all, of the different characters that then popped in. Back to Spider-Man and his story arc throughout this movie. Again, starts off with that exposure. Oh no, his identity is out there. Then it's like, okay, what are we gonna do? Before going further, what do you think of the? Okay, I kind of got the answer to my own question. Let me rather phrase this way. I was almost concerned that almost immediately at the beginning of the movie, do they then go and fix the whole thing of people knowing his identity? So it's like we don't get to live in that moment.
Okay, yeah.
But then I remember that, he made the attempt, but it wasn't successful until at the very end of the movie. So throughout the movie, people still knew his identity. And
you can see that because half the movie he's in his spider suit, but he's not wearing his mask anyways.
Yeah. I remember when you got to the... When you got to the... It's not the orphanage, man. The shelter that Aunt May works at. He flew or swung in, right, with the mask, and then he was looking for May, and then he takes it off. I'm like, what are you doing? And then I was like, oh, they know. Yeah, so if anything, I actually would have been disappointed if they quickly fixed it right at the beginning, because it's meant to be the essence of this movie.
That's the whole point, right? Him coming to terms with, are you Spider-Man? Are you Peter Parker?
Yes, kind of and living in the world where people know and seeing what the consequences, of that actually are. Then, we of course have to get to the one of the sole points, the sole points actually in the movie. Spider-Man's backstory, we know Uncle Ben dies, it's sad, whatnot, but they decided to just skip over that for this
And then
iteration.
Aunt May, yeah.
But now we get to experience the death of Aunt May.
Yeah.
And hey, man, what took me through your experience of that, keeping in mind, he was ready to send them home, and then she convinced him to keep them around.
I think this is my biggest gripe with this movie is the 1.5 hours of just bad decisions.
Oh, okay. Tell me more.
Yeah, so you had, but then obviously you don't have the whole story and you don't have the cameos or whatnot. But for me, when Green Goblin was spitting bars, he was like, you're making her fight her battles. You know what I mean? You're fighting her battles and not your own. And I was like, damn.
Yeah.
That's facts.
Yeah.
That's facts. And she inadvertently caused her own death.
Yeah.
Which I don't think you didn't have to do at all. But I know that the line has to come, the great power, great response. Yeah, it has to come in. So yes, in Peter's growth, yes, it worked.
Yeah.
But I don't think, I think it was also just a bit these are world beats in their worlds.
Yeah.
These villains were critical, and it could have, been, world ending for, if you will, or neighborhood ending. But now, for me, it's a story arc now. You want to give them a redemption, but in their own world, you're not knowing when they're going back. You don't know when you pull them out of the world and when you're putting them back in.
Yeah.
So you might spend all this effort fixing the things now, only for them to return and be dead. So wasted effort, you know what I mean? I don't know. I felt like it was a lot of wasted effort.
But sticking with that a little bit, because I found this to be an interesting philosophical point, that it's, of course, easy to say, no, it's her fault, she said they shouldn't be sent back, and, but if we trace it back a little further, there's the element of, no, Spider-Man is the one who started this thing off with not only just the request itself, but then messing up the request, which led to, the multiverse crashing. But within that, does he have to bear the responsibility of just sending them back, or is it not warranted for him to be like, ish, you guys are here, it's my fault, fine. But now if I send you back, it's going to be my fault that you die in your universes.
No, because they've already died in those universes. What I'm saying is I don't know where in the spell they've been taken out of, when they've been taken out.
I agree, right? But I'm just talking to the point that he brought them back, despite where they came from and whatever. They are now alive. Now, if he sends them back, he's sending them back to certain death. As opposed to, if there's a way in which I can prevent it, let me do it.
But it's an unknown outcome. He doesn't know what's going to happen when they go back.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's wasted effort. Because Doctor Strange says it, we know shockingly little about the multiverse.
Yeah.
And he's pulled them out from whatever time he pulled them out.
Yeah.
They're aware of their mortality, as was when they were in the crypt. And you don't know exactly when you pull them out, are you putting them back in the straight where you pull them out?
Yeah.
And where is that?
Yeah.
That's my thing. It's a little bit of a plot hole for me that I couldn't kind of let go.
I think,
you know what I mean? Because
as a plot device, it does make sense. The only thing is just a matter of, again, the uncertainty element is definitely always going to be there.
For me, it's more like Spider-Man sort of fixing his or making sure he can sleep better at night. It's his conscience
that's the next
you
thing
know what I mean?
He's
is he doing it out of the goodness of his heart, or is he doing it because he feels obligated? And I think he felt obligated.
Yeah.
And then a little bit guilt tripped by Aunt May.
That's definitely the part that I was gonna then move on to next. Just the fact that, again, it's almost like with us, everyday life, no matter what we do, if you're on the road, you let someone in, they could cause a crash, and that doesn't mean it's your fault. But in the moment, you feel like, okay, based on whatever, this is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So I think, even with him, it was that challenge. Because here's the other thing. even if they went back to the exact moment where they died, I always was aware of the fact that you don't know if they're gonna remain this newly reformed version of themselves, or if they're just gonna go back to
exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
So
Because
that's my thing.
like Doc Ock could have just gone to the point where he still has access to the power of the sun, the palm of his hand. Now does he throw it away, or does he be like, actually now,
Yeah.
So, but I also get the fact that Peter's like, hey, dude, they're here because of me. They would have died at their own hand initially, but now if I send them back, if they do die, it'll be my fault. So from that point, I understand him feeling the need to be like, let me do something about it, despite what may happen down the line. So it definitely is like an interesting, like I said, philosophical points to consider, because
who's to blame? Yeah,
exactly. Because it's very easy. I also kind of felt the Aunt May thing. I was like, yeah, but then I realized, no, actually, even before you came into the mix, because
she just used people. She used Happy. She broke up with him, and then she went into his flat. Like the self-righteousness is a veil. Like, no. Like Happy's like sleeping on the couch with the sleep apnea, and now, and then he's like, who are these guys? Who are these randos in my house?
He's like, other guy looks like he's made of mud. I'm coming back. I'm coming. Look, I ain't say she deserved to die.
No,
but I will say that was cold of her, dog. Yeah. Like, okay, dude is like literally crying and all, trying to, Happy, it's like, trying to get her back, and it's like, no, man, that's why they call it a fling. And it's like the whole time he's been saying that we still working to fighting it, but she's long decided clear that this is a fling, and okay, it's ended. Summer love, whatever she said. I'm like, okay, fine, you want to end it, cool. Next thing, she's using his apartment as some rest stop for multiverse villains. I'm like, nah, that was cold. That was cold. Yeah.
So I have opinions. You know my opinions.
That was cold. Yeah. Full stop.
But the death scene itself.
Yes.
Yeah. Because she was all normal. She was just normal. It's like a proper parent. Like a parent will never show you how much pain they're going through.
Man.
And then the line hits, and then obviously she passed away.
But now you bring an interesting point. Do you think she was trying to be protective of him, or I thought it was more of an adrenaline thing, not being aware that you're actually about to. I thought she believed that she's just going to rest a little bit.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I just want to enjoy that moment for what it is. Yeah. I don't know if she was trying to protect him or not, but I guess obviously teenager,
Yeah, it certainly is a possibility, but I'd never thought of it that way until you mentioned it just now. But in my mind, I'm like, no, she genuinely didn't know. She thought, nah, let me just, rest a bit.
Okay, yeah.
And then,
I feel like she did know. She,
okay.
She was injured and probably mortally wounded.
Yeah. But the way it played out also, man, I mean, if we're going to take it back a few notches, back to easily the greatest instance of the spider sense, he's out there fixing the people, and then
there were two great instances in this movie. First was the fight with Doctor Strange.
Okay, which instance?
When he was what is it?
Yeah.
That I thought was so smart.
That was
that was
like
he's
You're right. It does belong up there. Yeah.
And then obviously the one is more for the reflexes, and the one is more for the danger sense.
Yes.
And I know.
Yeah. So he's working on the cures for all the different people, and then you just get this weird sensation. And I hate that I don't remember what I felt when I saw it. Like what was going through my mind, because you obviously trying to piece it like, no man, why is he moving so much? Why because it's so left field from how they normally do it. But in any case, he then goes to Osborn, zaps him, gets the thing out of his hand, and immediately just switches back like, so you figured it out. And I was like, quite a thing, that sense of yours. Like, my favorite element by far, as much as I'm jumping among different ones, certainly just his voice.
Yeah. Like, it's just eerie. It's like, it's...
William Dafoe, which I wasn't aware of, because I haven't watched him in that many productions. Outside of Spiderman, I can hardly think of where I saw him.
Seen him in a few
2
stuff.
or 3, but I don't remember his voice sticking out like that. And I remember, I used to think it's just a thing he puts on for Green Goblin, but then you hear him like interviews where they're like, no, that's just his voice. Yeah. But at the same time, as much as it's his natural voice, there's a way he actually plays with it.
It becomes unnerving.
I mean, if you also contrast it with the scenes where, like,
when he's acting normal.
Yeah, he's just speaking fine, and that nervousness and whatever. And the next thing is like, oh, you quite a thing, that sense of yours. And I'm like, fam. And it takes a special voice to have me feeling jealous. Like, I'll definitely, like, ooh. Even if I don't have it, like, just to imitate it, I feel like, man, I would have loved to, and I clearly can't. So I'm like, mwah. Brilliant performance, over there. Then, of course, big, massive fight ensues. And actually, during the fight already, that for me is where I started to think about, shouldn't we just let these guys? Because when they made the decision, I don't know if you had a particular feeling, but maybe you felt the same way as far as, no, man, send him back, that's it.
Yeah.
When they were discussing it. For me, it's like, you hear the arguments, like, okay. So I was probably a bit more in the face than anything. But once the fight broke out in that boat, and I'm just seeing the destruction there, I was like, yo, yeah, you see now.
Yeah.
You see now. Probably should have sent them back where they came from. And then, of course, you get to the actual death. And, I mean, is this like the it's arguably one of the greatest acted scenes out of all, because I'm like...
In the MCU?
No, in the movie itself. But I realized there's actually quite a few that they gave us.
Yeah.
So I think the performance aspect of this movie is something that I don't think people give enough credit. There's a lot of fanfare, the stories, the fan service, all of that. But the performance, acting, we mentioned, right at the beginning that they went the darker route, but you can't have that only exist in the color grading.
Yeah, it has to be in the tone. Yeah.
It has to be in the tone, but the acting as well. The script and all these other things can only do so much, but what you bring to it. So, not to mention the tie-in to the multi-layers we've seen Peter Parker go through and Tom Holland display. But yeah, I've said more than my fair share as far as my opinion of him. So back to the scene, man, just watching the two of them, once he realized, oh no, I think she's about to die.
And what they did was so cool. It's like he didn't even have time to grieve. He just had to be on the move.
That's the other thing, dog. As soon as this was done, it's like, we kind of have to go on to the next one because these guys are still out there wreaking havoc, So not being able to sit in that moment afterwards, but also how much they try to contain in that particular scene of them basically saying goodbye to one another. And I think, despite the notion that, look, this could easily be chalked up to be her fault and so on, her sticking to her guns, even in that moment, says a lot. It says a lot, because it's very easy, right? When it's convenient and when you're in a privileged position, when you're unaffected, to be all la-di-da, kumbaya type of vibes, So I think for her to bear the ultimate consequence and stick to it.
Yeah, fair enough. Kudos there.
Yeah, that was pretty powerful. And to your point, after that, it's like, hey, man, we gotta go get this thing figured out. Ish. But of course, in between is where we have, our two prior Spider-Man popping in.
I feel like I mentioned this in the previous video. It's like the timing is like he lost a mentor and then the others came in. Oof. So, like, you know what I mean? It wasn't like too much of a good thing all at once.
That's a good point. I didn't look at it necessarily as a matter of losing a mentor and others stepping in, but I feel like now, more than before, the mentor role that Toby played,
even both of them,
a lot more. Yeah. Andrew had his part, but I also speak to the fact that there were points where Toby's the one mentoring and like, hey, come on, hey, you're amazing.
Yeah,
wink,
you did
wink.
the nod.
Wink, wink. You're amazing, but you're amazing. And the fact that he like wanted him to like simmer in it. He's like, it's not just, hey, come on, you're amazing. He's like, yeah. No. And the thing is, if you are a person, or at least know of people that, shout out compliments and that type of thing, like, how much that moment felt. Him pushing, like, hey, you say it. I'm like, dude. Yeah. So, I don't know how much that aspect stuck out to me before. It felt like something new. Probably, just blinded by Toby's
amazing.
back. Toby's back type of thing as well. And of course, the, amazing reference. But Toby playing that mentor for everyone, I think, was just amazing, man.
And he's just calm. He's just smiling, calm.
So zen, chilled. Literally, youth past the vibes.
What he's like, when they're doing the battles, I had to kill my best friend. Calm, chilled.
Like, kill him, like, after. Do you have a best friend? I did. He died. What?
In my arms.
In my arms, just before he tried to kill, after he tried to kill me. I think Toby, man.
Yeah.
And again, in the same fashion as with the villains, it's like you brought back these beloved characters, but it didn't feel cheap. It didn't feel, you know.
So like Toby played the mentor role well, and then Garfield got his like redemption sort of, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm trying to find like a more hard hitting word, but redemption will do for now.
Well, one is because he saved MJ. And he couldn't save Gwen the same way.
Yeah, I mean, him getting emotional. Also, always, even now, it had me in my feels. Like when he was just choking up. And even she's the one who almost died, but she's like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Because of how emotional he was. But watching him and knowing the backstory, I'm like, oh.
Like honestly, Andrew Garfield brought it for this movie. Yeah.
Yeah, dog. He's phenomenal. Like, he's literally amazing. And I think on the performance front, after Tom Holland, I have to give it to Andrew as well. Like on all fronts, dog. If it's just
the playfulness,
yes,
with the like, you know,
because I feel like obviously all of them have their strengths, right? Particularly when it comes to what you associate the most with Spider-Man. By far, Andrew, that wit, the humor, no one came close.
The cockiness,
with that.
the bra,
yeah. He's
like I've done it before.
By far the best. It still came through, you know, in this one. And over and above that, speaking of the layers of his acting, if it's him just literally fanning out, like, I love you guys, I'm so happy to be... Like,
and they're like, thank you.
Yeah, dog. Obviously, you know, Toby is more on the mature side of things. But with Andrew, you must also remember, talk about being on your own, dog.
Yeah.
I mean... Holland has got MJ, he's got Ned, he had Aunt May till just now. Who the hell did Andrew have? Again, we could talk about Toby not necessarily having anyone around.
But he married MJ.
And also him maturing is like, okay, you've grown out of it. Like, you know, you kind of passed that in a way. Andrew, he did say, like,
through it,
even with the rage-filled, you know, mode that he went into. And so there were so many things that he experienced, but you don't know of anyone being there for him. So now he's like, I feel like I've got brothers, and so see that side as well. Man, he hit so many different notes, but each one knocked them, you know, right at the park. So I absolutely loved watching that come through.
Yeah, and then just the fun interactions between them, like Peter 1, Peter 2, Peter 3. It was like Peter Parker, my Peter. You know what I mean? Like those fun little bits.
No,
there.
that did drag on a little too much for me.
Okay,
but
I don't know. I didn't feel too much. But
I like the spirit of what they were trying to bring into the mix. You know, talk about the Peter 1, 2, and 3. I liked that they had to build towards having a synergy in how they all interact and fight together. Yeah,
because they were like, I work alone, and like I work with the team.
But also, while actually trying to fix those guys, like they bumping each other, dropping the stuff, like, you know, and they had to go, hey man, okay, let's actually come up with a plan. And it wasn't just on some, with Spider-Man, we do this type of thing. I was like, yes, I like that you had to actually bring that, because even with the villains, they were working together but separately, but they had some time. So whether you want to conjure that up to, okay, they plan it out or whatever, that's cool. But it wasn't just that typical, okay, automatically this is going to happen. This is like, I always want things to be earned and actually built towards. So yeah, I absolutely loved that, aspect coming through. MJ and Ned, what do you think of them this time around?
Ned third wheeling like a mother. Like
on all fronts. Like
he's always third wheeling. And he's not even aware of it.
And you know, no, he is, because what I realized, even with it started with Far From Home, there'll be moments as soon as MJ and Spider-Man are together, he would literally move off screen. It's not like the camera is moving away from, no, he will step away. And I saw that a few times even here. I'm like, oh, okay. Even I think it was like by the Goodbyes or something. Yeah, he and Spider-Man had their thing. And then he just steps on like, no.
What is it? There was another one where they were like, hands in the middle, and it was like MJ and Peter Parker, and then he's just on top. And I was like, no.
Hey man, you gotta know when to step back and you gotta know when to step in. So yeah.
So like kudos to him. Like he plays that character so well.
Beautifully. Yeah.
You know, it is the comic relief, but it's like so. It is high schooly and it's pure.
Yeah, heartwarming.
As
well. Yeah.
It was cool to see that he has sorcerer powers. So maybe there's more for him coming. So that'll be cool.
I was looking forward to that as well, because I mean, how many times these guys, sprinkle something and then just deviate from it. I'm like, no, man, please.
This one
do
you have
follow
to,
up.
yeah.
And I loved that even Doctor Strange was like, yeah, because he was like, did you just open a portal? He's like, yeah. He's like, hey, there's something there. I'm like, okay, he clocked it. It wasn't just on some, give me that type of thing. Like, which also means not just anyone could have done that. And yeah, he picked up on it. I was like, okay, I like that little, tie in and hidden detail. And then, yeah, MJ.
I don't know. I felt like, I don't know, her playing Peter Parker's conscience a little bit.
Yes.
Was an interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
But I also like to see that she's more of her. I like seeing more of her. Like, she's not just this nonchalant character, but she actually cares.
Yeah.
And you could see that, like, she cared about going to college, and she obviously cared about her people. But yeah, just seeing that she cares was quite nice.
What's your interpretation of that conscious aspect? Because I picked up on it as well, but I've got, my theory around it.
I think go for your theory. Like,
for me, it's just as simple as the heartwarming aspect of her now being in a relationship with Peter is what's bringing that out of her. Because that's the thing with all cynics and, people who pessimistics, whatnot. It's that you stop believing because you don't have a reason to believe in your personal capacity. So he's broken down those walls.
He's thawed the ice switch.
Literally. And now she is noticing that and is appreciative of it and wants to keep that fire going. So she wants to make sure, hey man, you gotta be you so that I can be more of this version of me. Hence say, no, that's not what we do. That's what they, even the use of the we, it's like, hey, okay. I see where you're coming from. That's how I definitely did note it. But again, back to the earlier point.
Because he even said, like, you keep me in line. Like,
literally, right? So back to the earlier point is that you can't have the people be the same again and again and again. And that's not just reserved for main characters, even those around them. So I appreciate it. Because also at the same time, you can't really have that growth with everyone. Some Happy, for instance, Happy has been happy. Like he's just, always going to be who he is. And that's fine. I don't need any growth or development from him. But with the other people, it's like where it is applicable, I do like to see that come through. So that's how I viewed her. But I enjoyed it also. I liked how she played both sides very well. The broody character was pretty dope when she did it.
It's Zendaya. Zendaya is always a main character, but she's so good at playing side characters.
Yes. Yes.
If you think like here,
it's a tricky balance.
Dune, she's a side character there.
That's actually an amazing point because you never really feel like she's like trying to take the spotlight. But what I will say, she always utilizes every second of frame time that she gets. If it's at the coffee shop, if it's there's this thing again. Given their real life relationship, obviously it adds in, but. The chemistry that these two have. Always. I've always noted with Tom Holland's across the board as far as, how emotive he is and whatever. But with MJ, like, that's why that thing jumped out at me so quick. I'm like, no, man, when she's talking to him, the way she acts is very, very different. Even, by the end, when she's now forgotten him and is talking to Ned, he's now the friend and whatever. You can still see that there's quite a difference in how they interact. And also the underlying chemistry still came through when she was talking to Peter. So I'm like, despite having forgotten him, there's still that little, but the way she brings it through, I'm like, that's actually, quite a brilliant thing. I guess, one last main thing to touch on is, geez, man, look, again, going back first, when the two Spider-Man came in to Tom Holland, the emotion he was going, because that was like his 1 second essentially to then,
where would he be alone?
Dwell over what has happened to Aunt May, right? And then they like coaching him and all that. And even the way he starts off, please don't you dare tell me you know what I'm going through. There's a thing that it can't be. Fine, the mentoring comes in, right? They talk him through it.
And it's not even, they didn't even like talk down. They were they were just telling them their story.
Yeah. That was like the ultimate relating because, again, there were so many things where I'm like, on an emotional level, I know exactly what you mean. And one of them was him saying, don't tell me you know what, because it's also one of the things I hate as well. Some you know how it is, man. Like, there are moments we just want to vent. There are moments we deliberately want to stew in whatever it is that you're going through, And people then come in with those typical platitudes like, it'll be fine, it's for a bigger purpose or whatever the hell it is. And it's like, hey man, this is not the time for me to be hearing any of that.
Sometimes you just have to listen, people.
But
just listen.
If you do have to speak, this was like an amazing approach to use. Because it's like, remember, we have all of this in our world, you know, our own version of it. And so relaying that, I think, was a dope way for them to like, you know, kind of hone him in. But this brings me to that main scene I wanted to address. His fight with Osborn. What's your view on that? Because, I mean, you could argue a lot of things. Like, did it take him back? Or was it just a moment for him to physically express what he was feeling? And, you know, how did you break that one down?
I liked that he lost it.
Yeah.
I liked that he lost it, and then the two of them had to step in.
Yeah, at the right moment.
At the right moment. And that specific moment when they stopped him, it's like, yes, you're stopping a line he'll never cross.
Yes.
But you're stopping it at a point where he can see the line he was going to cross. And then that'll...
And there's no coming back.
And there's no coming back. And then that'll like shift his mindset back to his core values. So... Yeah, I like that they maybe the older Spider-Man let it go because they knew what needed to happen and for that catharsis to happen. Big word for you people. He needed that catharsis to happen so he can eventually grow.
Yeah. I enjoyed that as well. Like, because again, man, we can't go the typical route of everything. You can't always let it go. You can't always be the bigger person. You can't always move on. And sometimes before that happens, hey man, some shit gotta blow up, you know? So I like that. And not only, it's like on the one end, it's the writing where they wrote it in that he's gonna go berserk. But on the character side,
the portrayal,
it was also deliberate for the other two Spider-Men to wait and observe. That, man, it seems like a small decision and inconsequential, but I'm like, no. I like the intention behind that because it's like, back to saying we know what you're going through because we went through it.
And letting him go through it.
Because they also know what fulfillment it'll bring, you know, for lack of a better word. And not to mention what could come if that doesn't happen. I mean, Garfield said he was taking, who the hell knows who he was taking it out on? You know, it could have been petty thieves that he was beating to a pulp. So it's like, hey, do it. And at least, if anything, it's someone who can kind of sort of take it. You know, but the point being, it's his moment. Let it be. Let him go crazy. And then he realized, no. Now it's too much. Let me actually step in. And, oh man, like just that, and then he stops it. And then he brings it up. The fact that he did not say a single word. Ooh, I love that. I was like, thank you. Because the moment says it all.
Yeah.
Just that look, you know. There's this meme I keep seeing where it's, I don't know the animal, but one of those with like buggy eyes. And the text is that people say, oh, this is what my mom used to say to not control me, but like to keep me in line in public. And then they're like, my mom, and then they have the picture there where the eyes just popping out. So it's one of those where when your parent looks at you like this, you know that you're doing something wrong and you better behave type of thing. So, you know, in an almost similar fashion, it's like he's looking at him as if to silently say, hey man, okay, that's it. Yeah, you've got it out there, but we can't do all the things you were saying. Let's not cross the line.
Yeah.
This is now, you know, over and beyond. But yeah, let's stop
do,
it right
let's
here.
do what we came here to, save people.
Exactly. You know, so he was silent, but the communication came through, and you see it in how Tom Holland didn't respond or fight or like he was like, because he got it and he actually stepped back. So, yeah. So how many times do we say, show us, don't tell us, man? So for me, this is one of this. Look, we've mentioned a few, but I'm pretty sure there's so many other amazing scenes that we could, you know, call on as far as, man, the way this played out. And then that's the thing I love about, you know, and I don't know, man, if it's because of, you know, the two divorced parents being involved in the making of the Spider-Man productions, but you can sense the level of care that's paid to all the Spider-Man movies. And I'm like, make however many you want, as long as you keep applying
quality,
that same level of quality. So, yeah, man, brilliant throughout, start to finish. Yes, a few possibly questionable moments and so on, but more than made up for, you know, ultimately. Anything else you wanna mention?
No, not. Yeah, I think that's like a nice cherry on the.
Yeah. Nice
Cherry on
little
the
bow
top,
to
yeah.
put on it at the end. I'm also satisfied. Out of 10, what are we thinking?
I'm thinking 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
8. Huh?
8. Yeah.
I think 8 for me as well, man.
If there was no plot hole with the saving of people, definitely
could have
higher for
gotten a
me.
little higher, but 8,
yeah.
I think, super solid movie. Same old reasons, man. The rewatchability is amazing, but also we speak a lot about like, oh, the standalone and whatever. But for this one, it's like there's no standalone, but that's fine. That's fine. It's not a minus.
It's a third movie. So
that's the other thing. So yeah, go watch the first one if you want a standalone.
Go watch the other Spider-Man too.
With this one, it's everything you want and more. And like I said, the multiverse aspect of it also like was done on a level so insane that all others are gonna be measured by this particular yardstick going forward, which I have absolutely no issues with, you know. So, here's what we have now for our top 5, right? It's Avengers: Infinity War. It's Iron Man. It's Iron Man 1, of course.
Yeah.
Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah. It's
Spider-Man.
Civil War.
It's
Civil War.
No. Before that.
Endgame.
Endgame and what?
Civil War, and then it is.
Yeah, Endgame and Civil. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought you were.
It's 4th, and then
Civil War, and
Winter
then
Soldier.
Winter Soldier in number 5. This one is definitely entering the top 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
You tell me, because I wasn't sold on entering the top 5.
I'm trying to figure out where now, because obviously start off at 5 and then trying to move up. But I think even at 5, given everything else we have, again just running through. Yeah, I mean Infinity War, Iron Man 1, Homecoming. Okay, this and Homecoming. What's your thinking? If we just compare the two.
I'd probably still do Homecoming.
Yeah, Homecoming before.
Before, yeah.
Okay.
So from what you're saying, it's feeling fourth.
Yeah, like
it's feeling fourth.
I'm also trying to figure out, like, is it a matter of 4 for No Way Home and then Endgame and
drops down,
Civil War in number 5?
Yeah, I think that's the feeling.
One of the two, yeah. So I want us to like really interrogate it. Winter Soldier, look, you had a good run, but yeah, definitely I think you're getting knocked out here.
So let's see. You're just looking at Civil War. Yeah. Civil War had good acting chops, but I don't think as good as Far From No Way Home.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like the emotional,
the emotive points I think were stronger in
No Way Home and more consistent.
Yeah.
I think the hardest, of course, by far in Civil War was the Iron Man
and Captain America,
but
fighting.
That was like later in the movie.
It had, and that's kind of like the one main one.
Cool.
And then if you're comparing it to Endgame, you look at the fan service side of it.
Yeah.
I think I liked the Spider-Man fan service a bit more. Emotive stuff, again, Endgame did have some really good moments.
But probably not as strong.
Yeah,
also.
I mean, the strongest moment you're ever going to find is Tony Stark's moment, but...
Yeah, that's of course at the end.
But when you're comparing, across the board, I think it's, So I think 4 is a good...
Yeah.
Is a good place for it.
Sweet, yeah. So that brings our new top 5 then to having, Infinity War, Iron Man 1, Spider-Man Homecoming, now Spider-Man No Way Home, and then you have Avengers Endgame and Captain America Civil War occupying spot number 5.
Yeah.
Cool. Agree, disagree? Let us know. But as per usual, man, hit that like, hit that subscribe. And follow us on Instagram, the Phantom Geek Zone. And as far as where we're going to head to next, keep a close eye on PGZ.
Peace.
Peace.